Hello, Eurovision fam. We are back to talk about the Eurovision news, Junior Eurovision news, and just kind of some more updates that we got from this season. So far, it is December 9th, and we are going to be heading into Festival Congress Week, Vidbir Week, all of that very, very, very soon. But in the meantime, we are going to head and talk about a country who has selected their
Well,
art.
before we hit that, let's just go ahead and go over like all the different things we're going to be talking
Oh
about this
yeah,
week.
yeah. You sorry you guys. Anyways, yeah, let's cover what we're going to cover today.
All right, so like Jordan mentioned, we do have a new internal selection that came out yesterday. We've got the Sanremo artist announced. We have some quick thoughts about Vidbir and Eesti Laul to get through, but today's big thing is going to be Junior. We've
Yes.
got 4 songs to go through the reviews for, which are Italy, Georgia, Poland, and the host country Armenia.
Hmm.
And then we also have some poll results we ran through the week. And we can kind of talk about Junior before the big contest on Sunday.
Yeah, this is the last time we're going to be talking about Junior before the show actually happens, you guys. We're going to have a winner by the time we stream again next week. How crazy is that?
Exactly. So, yeah, like you said, we have some news from somebody. Do you want to kind of headway or talk about that?
Oh yeah. So, if any of you appreciate EMA, which is the Slovenian national selection, we are not going to get that this year. Slovenia went ahead and selected their band already. It is a band and not a single singer. Once again, it's a band, and they internally selected the band Joker Out to represent them. It's made of the
Mm-hmm.
members Boyan, Jure, Chris, Jan, and Natse, and they're a very popular band in Slovenia, apparently. And just reading from the band's statement on their selection here, all members in the band are big fans of the Eurovision. It is our wish to perform there for some time now, but we were waiting for the right moment. Although we are young, the fast progress of our career has brought us loads of experience, motivation, and creative energy. We are ready for this challenge. Regarding the style of music present at the Eurovision Song Contest, we need to say that it is well past being defined or limited to just one genre. We are staying true to our distinctive Joker out sound no matter where and when we perform. They released an album called Demoni earlier this year, and the song will be out on February 4th. Based on their statement alone, they're ready. They seem conditioned for the Eurovision type of environment. What
Yeah.
do you have to say about this band? Because I haven't heard anything.
I am actually kind of excited. So when I saw the announcement come down, it was they had posted the video on the Slovenian YouTube channel for
Mhm.
Eurovision. They posted like a little trailer for the band, like had one of the band's like songs playing in the background and stuff. I was like, okay. And then I was on Twitter, and my timeline was very excited. Like I have
Mm.
a few people I follow who are Slovenian, and they were like, what, really? Like they were like, I can't believe this is happening. And then like
Ooh.
people who do fan contests, I did see a lot of people who run like who do Eurovision fan contests going like, oh, I know these guys, I've sent them for this contest, or I've heard them in this fan contest. So I was like, okay. And then went ahead and listened to both of their albums yesterday. I'm ready for this. I'm like,
Woo! Okay.
honestly, because like they kind of make me think of, like, when I was listening to the music, I was getting like a vibe. Like, have you ever heard of Two Door Cinema Club? I'm gonna
Say that
just
again.
start. Two Door Cinema Club.
No, 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 no. Tell me.
Okay, like it's a band that was popular back in like 2003 ish, like that kind of
Mhm.
era, which is when I was in middle school. So this is the kind of rock music I liked in
Mm,
middle school. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
my. I don't want to make it sound dated, but it's the kind of music I like that I'm instantly drawn towards. So yeah, like I'm excited for it because I was like, okay, cool. And then when I went and listened to what they had on Spotify, I was like, yeah, this is a solid band. This is a band I would listen to without
Woohoo.
Eurovision being like, if someone had mentioned, hey, you should listen to this band and like recommended them to me, I would listen to them. So yeah.
That is awesome. I'm actually gonna go ahead and be streaming their albums after this stream because that sounds great. I
Yeah.
usually don't have this much hope for an internally selected artist unless I get a recommendation like that. It is just kind of a shame though that we don't get EMA
I
because that
know I'm gonna miss EMA.
yeah, it was so good and the hosting was always so fun. The song quality is always up there. So I
Yeah.
mean, even if we don't have that, at least we have a band who has the chops to make Slovenia proud.
Yeah. And like I said, like I listened to their newest album first. Solid. It did throw me off because there is a song in Japanese on that album. And I'm like,
Heck
Like, I
yeah.
was sitting there, I was like, wait, this isn't Slovenian. Maybe it just kind of sounds like Japanese. And I heard a full sentence in Japanese. I was like, oh, wait, what? And I can't, because I had just watched I had just listened to the songs from Eesti Laul right before it. And so I was like, this is
Oh.
the second time today I've gotten surprised Japanese. Okay.
Hey, I love that though. I love it because Japanese music has such an influence on Western music. It's fantastic. And so is the inverse true.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I have any more thoughts about the Slovenian band. I'm really excited to see what they bring. Do you have anything else you need to say, except the fact that it takes you back to 2003
In a
in
good
your
way.
like peak rock days?
Oh my gosh, yes, my peak rock days. No, I don't have anything to say. I mean, like, I am happy, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. But what else can we say besides we don't have the song yet? We'll be getting that. We're
I
beginning
was
that song.
surprised. I was so surprised when I saw that announcement. I was like, what?
Well, I knew they were going to be saying something yesterday. I just assumed it was going to be more EMA.
Mhm.
But we'll be getting the song when I'm at a concert, actually. So we'll see. I'll be at a rock
Yeah.
concert that day.
Check that out, you guys.
Yep. So let's go ahead and move over to Sanremo artist.
Oh yeah. So you guys, Sanremo, one of the best national selections of the entire Eurovision season, has put out their list of artists to be trying to represent Italy in Eurovision this coming year. We have a lot of returnees, we have a lot of newcomers, and Giovanni has especially a lot of newcomers once again.
It's
But
Giovanni. Isn't that what it's for?
it's based on newcomers, that's the point. But anyways, these are the names that are going to be announced to sing songs at Sanremo this year. We have Anna Oxa. Ariete is coming back. Articolo 31 is coming back. Collepesce Di Martino is coming back. Come Cose. Elodie is back. Gianluca Grignani is back. Georgia, who is an amazing, amazing, amazing artist from the 90s in Italian pop. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to move down the list. Cugini di Campagna, who's trying to compete at Eurovision again. They were in, I believe, the 80s. Lazza, LDA, Madame, who is the most streamed Italian artist of 2020. Competed 2 years ago with the song Voce in Sanremo, and it was divine. Marasate is going to be performing. Marco Mengoni is returning. Moda is coming back. Mr. Rain is here. Paola and Chiara are coming back. Rosa Chemical is here. Tananaya is coming back. And Ultimo is coming back. So that is the grand Sanremo.
You missed two.
Which ones did I miss?
You missed Leo Gaspin and Levante.
Oh my goodness. Leo Gaspin and Levante. So Levante is returning. She was last in Sanremo 3 years ago. Leo Gaspin, I'm not super familiar with, but good luck. I'm sorry.
Oh, my timeline is. My timeline was going wild. I was just like, I got Elodie and Levante. I'm good. I don't need anybody else.
There are so many names here where it's just like, if you win Sanremo, you can win Eurovision. I could name about like 3 to 4 to 5 artists in this list who have the chops to do that.
Nah, like for me, Levante and Elodie were my top two for 2020 at Sanremo.
Vicky Bom Bom and
Oh no,
Andromeda.
Elodie.
Some of the best pop music to ever come out of this decade.
No. Elodie was on my top 5 most played artists of 2022. I'm not gonna lie, she held down my Spotify Wrapped list for a while there, especially this summer. But yeah, no, I'm so happy to see them both back.
So that's big Sanremo, guys. We also have Sanremo Giovanni contestants.
Yeah.
And Giovanni, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically for the newer coming artists, the ones that are introducing themselves to the Italian music industry and essentially want to go to the big Sanremo. One day, we're going to get 6 qualifiers from Giovanni who are going to be competing.
Wait, one second. I have to just say this. That means we're going to have 28 acts.
28 acts. But hey, this is one of the best national selections. We can listen to 28 songs.
I'm just imagining how late is Saturday night gonna go though.
At one point, didn't it go until like 4 a.m. Italian time?
I swear there have been times where I have gone to sleep because Sanremo
Me too.
was going on too long for me, and I live 6 hours behind them.
Yeah, me too. And the funny thing is, even though I'm a really big fan of Mahmoud, I missed his winning moment because I went to sleep during his Sanremo year, like for his winning moment. So that, I mean, that basically goes to show you that Sanremo is a really long show, a very high quality show, but you don't have to like be glued to the screen the whole time. Sanremo is the kind of show that you can watch passively and enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's usually what I do. Like, the first 2 nights, I watch the whole thing because, like, there's nothing else happening those 2 days. And then once those are over, like, I don't really watch covers night. Like, I passively watch covers night. And then for the final, I usually come to it after I finish the other national finals for the day because it'll still be going.
It definitely will. We're not going to see results again until like 3 hours after all the other national selections ended. Italy will finish top 10, right? Georgios. I mean, that's always the hope. We've seen that as the pattern, but and I do think it's possible if they do select a number of the artists for Sanremo, but even if they don't select them, Italian music is very, very stacked. Like it's always like they don't put anything out unless they know it's going to be top 10 quality or adjacent to that. So it's possible, it's probable. I'm not going to hang on to that idea though, because I mean, there's a lot of other countries that I wish would get top 10.
Yeah.
And Italy tends to sometimes fill in that spot when I think someone else deserves it.
Shade. Anyways. So yeah, we also have there are 12 acts competing at Sanremo Giovanni, which is next week.
Yes.
I think it's like going to be on probably like once we finish streaming. That's probably when their stream will kick off. To watch it over on RAI. But yeah, the acts that will be competing on Friday of next week for Sanremo Giovanni are Gian Maria, Juicy, and Malizia. I am so bad at pronouncing Italian.
Sorry.
Maniani, right?
Manini.
Mira, Ollie, Sethu, Shari, Will, Colazio, Fiat 131, Nor, Romeo, and then last is Romeo and Drill. So those will be the 12 that will be competing at the newcomers contest.
Yay! I love the fact that we have something like Giovanni in Sanremo. I feel like a lot of other national selections could benefit from this kind of format, especially because you don't necessarily need to see them as like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna like watch you, this new artist, like immediately go to Eurovision. No, this is good practice for them.
Well, like that's how like, EMA was. EMA was Slovenia's like newcomers contest. That's why when I watched it last year, EMA Fresh is like the pre-EMA contest. And with that, it was like there's a reason why like the demos were all happening in people's cars. And like the demo for like LPS was like in a living room or like a classroom. I can't remember. It was like some like room that was like, what are you guys doing?
Candid. It's candid.
But yeah, like I mean, even with EMA, look at what happened there. Like some of the like in EMA Fresh, the acts who got through to EMA did really well and even had one win. So you never know.
It could happen. It very well could happen.
But yeah, do you have any thoughts about like anyone in particular you're really excited for when I'm sorry, there's a comment.
No, Jordan, I absolutely agree. Hey, I mean, like, it could happen again this year that I think because I mean, last year I thought their song could win again. It could happen again this year. Italian music is just good. And it's really hard to just say I'm disappointed in a Eurovision entry, but it does happen sometimes. Sometimes like I'm just not happy with the Sanremo winner. That's all right. They're probably going to end up getting top 10 anyways.
Yeah, I know. That's how Sanremo is. Like, that's how it usually is for Italy. But yeah, do you have any thoughts about what are we doing? Any other thoughts you want to mention for anyone competing at Sanremo?
For the number one artist streamed in Italy, Madame, I am anticipating her song a lot. I mean, I'm anticipating a lot of the artist's songs, but when it comes to the music that I listen to, Madame is the most likely out of all of the artists that I will be streaming just generally because I really like her independent projects. So yeah, fingers crossed for her, but fingers crossed for everybody else too, because it's going to be a great show nonetheless.
Oh yeah, like there's some like my timeline was going crazy constantly. Now I know I follow a lot of people on Twitter who do listen to a lot of Italian music, but they were pretty pumped. Like every time I saw a new name pop up.
Yep, big names. But hey, then again, like there is no show quite like Sanremo.
No, I completely agree with that statement.
Hmm.
So, we have a comment here real quick. I want to kind of go through because this is stacked, which is from Peter Hadush, which says, "Fun fact: we have already 6 finals on the 11th of February. Italy, Estonia, Romania, Croatia, Malta, Denmark, plus Latvia and Lithuania may join them. 8 finals in one evening, reacting to 8 songs." Yo, like that just sounds exhausting. Like number one, that's like the only Saturday in February I don't have plans,
You can't have
and I
plans.
can't have plans
You
now.
can't.
Like
Oh my goodness.
that is
Okay, so
so many.
February 11th I'm going to spend literally all of my brain energy of the entire year on that day.
I can
That
already
is
tell you
the
which.
Superest Super Saturday. Is it the Superest Super Saturday, Peter? It might be. A little scared for that, but it's also really exciting because I mean, 8 songs, that's 8 decisions that are made. 8 of the most important decisions that are made in the
I
year.
mean, at least like with Italy, that comes later, so I don't have to watch that until after I finish the other ones.
Exactly, exactly.
Um,
And I mean, like, there are some countries in this list that I just may not watch at all when they go live.
can you
I
guess which
can
one
name,
I'm
like,
looking at?
maybe definitely 1, maybe 2 countries in that list where it's like, I am not looking forward to your national selection because I typically not tend to do so. But who knows? Maybe the artists this time coming around, the songs can draw me in to watching the national selection because hey, that can happen. If I like a song that much, then I can end up rooting for it by the time the show starts.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that was kind of like a little off on a little tangent thing there.
No, that's
I
good.
just
It's
wanted
good
to
for
pull
us
that up
to
because it's
know.
like that's 8 national finals in
It's
one
8
night.
national finals in one day.
Like that's too many national
Coming in two
finals for one
months.
day.
Woo!
All right, let's go ahead then and move on to the next topic, which is Vidbir. So we just wanted to
Yeah.
touch briefly on this, kind of like mention some songs we like. We'll go in more depth on Vidbir next week because next week is when it
Here
happens.
we
So do you want to go ahead and kick off like a couple of songs you would say, hey, check this out if you haven't yet?
Yes. So, the big one that everyone talks about, the big one that everyone is kind of anticipating is going to do the most well at Vidbir is When God Shut the Door by Jerry Heil. If you are familiar with Jerry Heil, she is a big name in Ukrainian music as of the last 3 years, and she competed at at Vidbir 2020 with the song Vegan. And that was kind of a controversial piece. Not a lot of people loved it. I love Jerry from that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And When God Shut the Door is a complete 180 from that song. Very professionally done, very different, very Ukrainian sounding. It's really, really good. Who else do I like? Finka, Dovbush. That is an insanely fun. Like, I like it when an ethnic based bop type entry has hip hop kind of flavors, influences in the production of the rhythm of it. Like that is just excellent to me. And Finka, like also the tempo change, amazing.
That
Um,
tempo change hit me out of nowhere. Like if you
like
haven't seen my reaction video, I was like,
like
what?
my eyebrows are gone, like completely from that. And
Yeah.
I think the third one that I say like pay closest attention to is Two Tone Kvitka. So that song, it didn't stand out to me when I was watching kind of like recaps of Vidbir, but when I actually listened to the song in full, one of the strongest melodies I've heard so far of this national final season. Some might disagree with me, but I want to say those 3 are the ones where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna pay closest attention to you. Who do you think are gonna be the higher impact folks?
So I agree with you. I love Finka. Um, because when that tempo change happened, I was like, oh what? Like I literally like I was like talking and then train of thought gone.
I said
Um,
expletive and then like clapped and ran around like when that tempo change happened.
Jerry Heil, I really like that one. It kind of made me think of like the Fifth Element, the Diva song from the Fifth Element,
The
with like tinges,
yeah.
yeah, with like tinges of like Ukrainian music in it.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like I like Kurt a lot. Um,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
it was giving me like a bard doing a lullaby in a fantasy game.
Yes, Skyrim, like I've been playing lately.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm into this. And
Mhm.
then I looked up, I was like,
Really
oh,
good.
it means lullaby. Okay, cool. Like that was
Nice.
without knowing. I honestly am gonna also say one more, which is Timber Blanche. I really like that
Oh my
song.
gosh. It's so smooth. It's
It's
so
so
just pleasant.
cool.
Uh-huh.
Like I remember I was like, why is this giving a vibe like the message, like a song, like a deep cut, but make it more poppy from the
Mhm.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know what
wow.
it is about that, but it was giving me that kind of like a vibe from like that era. Well, she hasn't really
Mhm.
put out much music since then, but like it was kind of make me think of her a little
I
bit.
kinda do see why you
And I
say
was
that.
like,
I can't name why, though.
yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, it's like, I don't know what to say other than I really am into that. I like a
Mhm.
lot of stuff on here. But those are kind of the ones I wanted to touch on. We'll
Once
talk
again,
more.
Vidbir is, like, the most diverse contest we have so far, you guys. It's just this is, of course, gonna be another high quality show, and it's because of diversity. They always favor diversity when they're constructing the lineups of who's gonna be represented at Vidbir, so
Oh yeah,
oh,
100%.
goodness. And
Yeah.
we're the judges especially too. Like I'm excited to see what they think
Well,
about the
one of the judges is within 10 miles of me. Or yeah, she's not very far from me right now. I can sense her in the atmosphere.
grab her.
They go find her. Hey, come here. Um,
Oh yeah, I also
she's
just want
near.
to highlight Tvorchi. I like this is probably my favorite song by them. So
Yeah, it's the best one they've sent so far.
mhm. Yes, yes.
But yeah, let me see.
I'm
So
not
let's
disappointed by really a single one though. They're all listenable, and even the ones that I didn't say, even the ones that I don't like as much, I would still love to listen to them on stage.
yeah, it's gonna be a good contest. There's
Absolutely.
not really anything that makes you go, why are you here?
Mhm.
So let's go ahead. Oh, we've got to notate some questions. Let's just pull up one. We have Lili Stu. Jan Henrik Felgren did an interview a few days ago and described his song as very different. I hope it isn't a new statement. I want it to do well.
I would say that Jan Henrik typically does slightly different every time he comes back to Melfest. Like his entries are not exactly parallel to one another, and I would trust that his experiment this time is yeah, I would trust that it would hopefully allow him to do pretty well. I like his vocal style. Hopefully, what at some point he represents Sweden because Sweden needs to be represented by his sound. But,
Mhm.
I also hope it's not a new statements. I hope we don't necessarily get a new statements because that is a legacy of its own right.
Well, like when you say a new statement, do you mean like a song that's not like what you would expect from the artist that doesn't do as well as they've done previously? Because for me personally, I liked statements a lot.
Mhm.
But I'm also somebody who I like a challenge in music.
Yeah.
Um, like if when we get into Estee Lauder, you're gonna be like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
like I like to have a bit of a challenge in music, and I like with statements, it was making a very strong anti right wing statement with the song and with the performance, like the visual, like the things it referenced visually.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know, like I'm thinking about like what he could be doing that's different because he's working with a team of two other artists
Yeah.
this time. So I don't know if it's gonna be like kind of him yoiking and while the other ones maybe one of them is a rapper. I didn't look into the other artists at all. But I am curious, and I think that with artists, we have to give them a chance to evolve and change over time.
Mhm.
Um, as someone who's listened to a lot of rock music, one of my favorite artists, he started out in a metal band. It's been 20 years into his career and he's less metal, more kind of like pop rock. Like he's
Mhm.
definitely changed over time to become more accessible. But I know other artists who've gone in the opposite direction, where over time they tend to get more edgy or they tend to do stuff that's more experimental in their music. So
Mm. I mean, artists, they
I'm
get
curious.
curious. They don't wanna just play around in one sound anymore. I mean, if they wanna continue making art, then there's all kinds of inspiration from everywhere, and they definitely see that.
Yeah, but I would like to. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for bringing me
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We're gonna keep an eye on that, this coming season.
bringing attention to that.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and let's go over to Estee Lau because we wanted to touch on that briefly.
Yay.
So with Estee Lau, um, I guess I'll just kind of say who stood out to me because it's wild.
Mhm.
I've got notes. I've got lots of notes actually. I don't know. I think the first person I wanted to bring up was Robin Ukinzel. I feel like I'm the only person who's like in love with this song because it was tailor made for me. That
Which
song is
which
wild.
song is that again?
It's the one. The music video is in black and white. He's got like the page boy cap on.
Oh yeah, that one that kind of sounds like a fever dream.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one.
I love that song. It's so good.
Hey, I mean, I think it's nice. Like when
Oh
I was
no,
listening to it, I was like,
that
this is
was
all
I
right.
was like, oh, this is so good. This is like only Estonia. Um,
Only Estonia
only
would.
Estonia would have that
Yeah.
international selection 100%. It's like kind of like a mix of jazz and funk, and like
Mhm,
the vocal is giving me more like that psychedelic rock vibe.
mhm.
It's like three genres mashed together, but it's harmonious at the same time,
Caters
and I
to you.
love it. I absolutely adore it. Another one I wanted to mention was, you know what? I'm gonna go with. I've got so many notes here. I'm gonna go with Next Freddy. Again, up my alley, jazzy, smoky vocal on her.
Mhm.
It's giving me like lo-fi hip hop beats to study to, but your mom's listening to smooth jazz in the other room.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I think it's great. That bass line is so good.
Mhm.
Eesti Laul has some good bass lines every year. I think the last one I want to bring up, I'm gonna go Elisa on this one because it shocked me. I did not like Fire at all last year. I love this song. It's like synthy, poppy, trashy, but in a good way. It's exactly what I want for kind of a throwback to the 80s synthy pop song.
To me, like it kind of gives it almost like there's kind of an energy of like plastic love to it. That song a little bit, right? Just think about that. Just think
Yeah.
about that. It does have like a plastic loviness to it. So I mean, we get a J-pop sense from that, but we also have an actual like J-pop song.
Which I was like,
Where did this come from? And that's the one I want to highlight, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I was just listening to that one and I was like, what? This is
It's
And then
confusing.
I looked at the
It's
screen
weird.
and I was like, oh, this is actually in Japanese. Because sometimes I think
Yeah.
like stuff sounds like Japanese,
Mhm,
but it's not. And I
mhm.
looked at I was like, oh, that's hiragana. That's kanji. I was like, was I studying too hard for my JLPT? Like, no, this song's actually in Japanese. I was like,
Mhm.
this is a little like, and pinsu wa doko desu ka? Which is my equivalent of saying donde es la biblioteca. But like, that doesn't mean where's the library. It means where are the pencils. But yeah, sorry.
No, that's definitely one to highlight because I mean, I feel like every so often we just get a gem in the Eurovision family of contests where it's specifically Japanese, and we're just like, yes, we're gonna clutch onto this and hang on to it because a lot of the time it's done really well, and I really like that song. I really, really like the Japanese entry we have at SD Laul. Are there other songs that you kind of feel like we need to mention
Um,
before I say the ones that I like?
I mean, if you want to mention the ones you like, I mean, the only other one I have is like Inger. This is the best entry we've gotten from Inger so far.
I
And
agree.
that suit, I want that suit.
It's the suit is
I
so
want
cool.
that suit. I want that, and I want that velvet chair. I have a chair. I have a spot right under this window behind me. I
Mhm.
need a chair for. I would love to have a velvet chair for that spot.
Yes, Inger has one of the best styles that I've seen, like, so far this season.
Mhm.
Props for that. Anybody else?
I'm done with mentioning mine. I can't. I can go on way too long for this. Like I literally love Estee Lauder.
Mm,
And we're gonna talk about Estee Lauder again later on in time. But is that everyone you wanted to mention?
I did wanna touch on Cow, so Valik. I was surprised by this. When I heard this in a recap, I was kinda like, "Huh, okay," but when I heard it in full, I thought it was great. Tokimeki, we mentioned. Mia singing Uksam Koraga, that song actually really stood out to me because it's the only song that I feel like is, trying to demonstrate kind of like vocal strength the entire time. Then there's the big one that everyone talks about, Venom by Ollie. This is the only song in the lineup with a high note. But that aside, it's a little Nickelback adjacent. The melody is there. It's very present, and would assume that's going to do well. And at very last, I will mention Milik singing to you. That song is just so much fun. I look forward to that on stage.
Yeah. I think I have. Yeah, I have Milik listed on mine too.
Uh huh. That stood
Like
out to me. Like I was really surprised by
if you
that.
like that one, you're gonna like Joker out
Ooh,
stuff. It's kind of
yay!
adjacent to that, but they're kind of
Get
like
out.
no, because like let me rephrase that because Milik is more like late '90s college rock radio.
Mhm.
Um, but like I got like the bands I referenced mentally were similar between the two of them.
Mhm.
And we have a comment from Peter. Peter Haduk says Bridges is my favorite.
I hope she does a high note in Bridges. I feel like there's a space for her to do that that can help
Yeah.
her perform more well in Eesti Laul, but I'll be honest with you, Peter, Bridges is not quite there for me. It's almost there. It's almost at a point where I'm like, ah, yeah, this could be the one, but I need to see it on stage. I need to see how it operates.
I thought it was really pretty. Like my first reaction, it was like the first song I listened to just because like I was on the Eesti Laul website,
Mhm,
and I was like, oh, this is nice. Like I was like, ooh, drama. It's got a lot of good tension and resolution to the tension throughout the song.
mhm.
Um, it's just like it's not like as I've illustrated here. I'm insane, so like my taste when it comes to Eesti Laul skews towards the weird. But I do think that would be a strong entry, and I think it would be competitive for them.
Mm. Yeah, good
Okay.
argument.
All right, so we're done with Eesti Laul. Let's talk about our criteria for voting, our criteria when it comes to JESC stuff.
Yeah, so just reminding you guys, the criteria that we look at when we analyze the Junior Eurovision songs are lyrical content, production and genre, unique elements, how well can the song be performed live, would we stream the song, and would our 10-year-old self bop to this? And to start off the list, we do have the country Italy, the song Blah Blah Blah, sung by Chanel Dilecta. And let me just say, lyrically, this is probably my favorite song. It says, "Don't say things you don't want to be held accountable for."
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, this is a more grown girl singing the most grown concept.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the most valuable thing that you could be singing about at that like age that you're at, and it's just yeah, lyrics. What do you think?
I thought lyrically, I was like, oh, I like this. I'm into this vibe. It kind of feels a little bit like they used to like, hey, when you say something, think about what you're saying, which is, strongly anti-bully situation.
Mhm.
And then I also was like, oh, it's making me think of like kind of like be quiet and go somewhere, like disregard the haters, as well. Like it's got those
Yeah.
elements too. So I did think it was fun. Like it's not complex, but it's direct with what it's saying, and I'm into it.
Mhm.
And it's catchy. Like it's so catchy. Well, that kind of goes into the production and genre, which is it's catchy. It's a catchy bit of like Italian housey, but
Mhm.
like more pop version of
Yeah.
that.
I do want to say there is an essence of La Representante di Lista in this song. There is just a quality about it where it's like, huh, I wonder if Veronica could be on this. But like it does feel very Italian. Like the
Yeah.
production, the genre, you can indistinguishably tell that this was made in Italy.
Yeah.
And the hook too, like it's just such an Italian hook. The production's very clean,
Hmm.
very clear, very easy to listen to, very pleasant.
Yeah. And I think it kind of leads me into like my unique elements, which is there's not really anything else like this. And it tells you exactly where it's at. Like, you
Mhm.
know where in the world you are when you hear it.
Exactly. For me, I would say the unique element is the fact that this has the highest high note out of
Yeah.
all of the songs in the lineup, and that is amazing. This song is unique in a lot of ways, but that is my personally thing where I just regard that as the most unique.
Yeah. Now, how well can it be performed live?
Not quite sure. I haven't taken a good look at the rehearsal clips, and I have not seen her perform this, but I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
I haven't watched any of the rehearsal clips yet.
Mm.
Just because it's like one of those things where I didn't think it would be fair to do the rehearsal clips
Mhm.
prior to talking about the songs. Like, we didn't have those for the other 12. I'm like doing math. We didn't have that for the other 12 people who competed, so I didn't
Yeah,
want to
we
touch the
didn't.
rehearsal clips yet for that reason.
Mhm. We're not gonna
But
be
yeah.
talking about the rehearsals, you guys, but in just general scape of how well can it be performed live, I have no clue with that regard.
Uh, According to Georgios, it looks good at the rehearsal, so she's fine. Okay,
All right, that's
cool.
good. That's good for us to know.
Thanks for the insider information
Mhm.
there. Also from Georgios. I love Italy this year. I listen to it a lot.
So
I
do
do
we.
too.
Yeah.
I love it. And that kind of leads us into would we stream the song? I
Yeah.
just exposed myself, yes. And
Every day, every time.
would you listen to this as a 10-year-old?
Yes, this would have been something that I hit as a 10-year-old. It's just such an
Mm-hmm.
amazing song all around. Like
Yeah.
Lyrically, as a child, I would have been able to grab onto it because the blah blah blah. But even aside from that, it's just so magnetic. There's something about it that as a child, like I feel like my inner child is living again when I hear the song.
Yeah. It's like, and like you said, like that blah 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 is, you can catch, like anyone can get that hook in their head.
Hmm.
It's a simple sound that exists in most languages.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I used to say blah 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 or blah a lot as a
Hmm.
kid, because I was heavily influenced by Valley Girls. But yeah, so that's our thoughts on Italy
Hmm.
and Miss Chanel. So let's go ahead and go over to Georgia.
Yes. Okay. So Georgia, Mariam Bigvava singing "I Believe." Um, lyrically, this is a peace song. This is a world peace song. But
I didn't pick up on that. I mean, I personally, like, when I looked at the lyrics, I was like, this isn't, like, I don't know what the song's about still, looking at the lyrics, you know what I mean, with the translation.
the couple
Um,
times I looked over it, I want to comfortably say this is a world peace song, but I'm not quite sure. I feel like I would need Mariam herself to help me figure that out.
I mean, I guess it is, like, when the we open the closed space, the day is born, we create a beautiful future. I guess it kind of can be real PC, kind of like, let's join together and make the world a better place.
Mhm.
Um, but like for me, I think this is not about the lyrical content; it's about the overall package.
Mhm.
So for me, lyrically, there wasn't really anything that stood out to me. As far as lines in the song go, I don't know Georgian though, so there could be some stuff happening with the Georgian language that I just don't, I don't understand.
Mhm.
Like I would with English. But like for me, this is about the art piece of it. This is about the combination of the visual that we got, with the music video, paired with her vocal, which is fantastic,
Mhm.
paired with the production and the way the song's written, like the way the song, like the composition of the song.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that can move into production and genre. So, kind of my thoughts on the production and genre. I have seen the sentiment that it feels kind of 2015 era. I do agree with that. I do feel like this could have been produced and created in 2015. I almost want to say there's kind of like a Sia adjacentness to the way that this was produced.
Hmm.
Um, like in terms of the production, I have no issues with it. I have no issues with the genre. It's kind of like hard hitting pop.
Yeah.
I don't have any
Like
complaints
that kind
about
of
it. I think it's
like
great.
big artsy pop.
Hmm.
That kind of like um, brings it together. Peter Haddock says, "I love the instruments and those ooh ahs. They work so well.
Oh my gosh.
They help build the atmosphere immediately."
Mhm.
Um, and this kind of goes in the next one, which is like how well can be performed live, but she hits every note in the rehearsal.
That's good to know. That's
I
good
love it. I
that's
mean,
good for
like,
us to know.
the thing is with Georgia at Junior is they bring the vocal out. They bring the vocals consistently.
Yeah.
I think for me, the unique element is Miriam. Um, like she shines really bright on
She
this
is
one.
art.
Yeah, like it's very artsy and very like it's more highbrow than what you would expect for like a children's contest.
Exactly. No, yeah, like it is a lot more highbrow and it's very even if the lyrics aren't a ton even if they don't try to make you like think a ton about what the song's about, it's the production and it's the uniqueness of the sound of the song that kind of brings you forward to that. In my opinion though, the unique element is the fact that so you know how like when you're playing a video game and you have
I
like a
have the
button that
same one.
yeah, it's because I couldn't afford the big one. But you have like the button that basically is like normal attack, and then you have the button that's like power attack that you charge up for. Georgia has a power attack. The last 30 seconds of this song, that literally is a power attack.
Hmm.
That is something that not only is going to make her do very well in the contest those last 30 seconds, but if she can perform it well live, then I mean, case closed. It's going to
Yeah.
do really well. It's extremely, extremely powerful. I'm not going to delve into a ton because, like, we have a time constraint. But when you listen to that song, you will feel absolutely honed into it by the last 30 seconds. It's just so, so powerful.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm talking about. Like the overall package is a strong one.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Now we already answered how well it can be performed live. Now, would we stream this? I say yes. I've been
Yeah.
streaming it like
Oh, yeah. Every time it's on.
100%. Now, how
The
about your?
song's on streaming, by the way, you guys. In case you didn't know, the Junior Eurovision songs are now on streaming. So support your artists.
Yes. And then next up is would you listen to this as a kid, like as a 10-year-old?
This would have been something that changed my life as a child.
I'm gonna say it wouldn't be up my alley as a kid until like I not as a 10-year-old. Hit me when I'm 12, 13, you're good. Like that's kind of when I flipped. So yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's a more mature song. This is definitely on the more
Yeah.
mature end.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is going to be Poland. And we have our song by Laura, and the song is To the Moon. Do you want to start us off on lyrical stuff?
Yeah, so I actually do want to start by reading a section of the lyrics. Only sky will be the limit. It's your time, so please believe it. I think you're ready now. I think you're ready now to dream big, like to the moon and back. Like to the moon and back. Don't be afraid because you can dream. This is your time. This is your time. Only the sky is limit. Fight back. So this is a follow your dream song, which is often and which is often a pretty common concept in Junior Eurovision, but not with this kind of sound, not with this kind of execution. Lyrics, I don't think, are the main focus of this song.
Yeah.
The lyrics are
It's
quite
like
content with
Georgia.
the fact that it's like English Polish dichotomy. Sounds super nice. What do you think about it lyrically?
I was gonna say it's like Georgia, where the lyrics aren't why you're here.
Hmm.
You're here for the vibe more than that.
Yes.
More than the lyrics. And there wasn't really anything like any lines that stood out to me particularly when I was looking at the lyrical content, so I didn't really not write any notes for lyrics.
Hmm.
Other than it does what it needs to do, which is believing in you and believing in somebody. And you know, it's your empowerment song.
Hmm.
But what I like about it, kind of moving into genre, is it's an empowerment song that doesn't sound like it's like it doesn't sound like a stereotypical empowerment song.
Not at
Because we're
all.
getting into that more dancey kind of housey kind of vibe, like loungy vibes, like you had mentioned previously. So I kind of appreciate it more because usually empowerment songs, they're just too saccharine and like they're trying
Scream.
too hard to make you feel like you're
Yeah.
powerful, and I don't like that. If I'm going to listen to an empowerment song, I want it to be more like low key because I'm more of a low key person when it comes to believing in myself. Then let me belt out "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera.
Dang, what a synthesis. Production and genre, yeah, I do feel the sentiments that you feel, but I also to add, there is a very kind of Eastern Europeanness to the way that this was produced. Like this feels like this had to have been produced the like red curtain area of the world. That's
Okay.
terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry, but basically, think about this. This is a song that could effectively be sung by Tattoo, the Russian duo. Like this is a song that could
I
I would be able to
disagree.
hear in like a Warsaw club in I want to say like 2005. This it feels Slavic. It feels like a Slavic club jam, and I will always hang on to that. You
It
disagree.
does. I disagree because it doesn't like. There's a certain sound
Hmm.
that I associate with that I don't know how to describe other than like what you're describing, and I'm not hearing that with this. It
Okay.
doesn't have that sound to me. Like I know what you're talking about because like there's a like it's like when you get into a cab and you know the driver is like Eastern European
Hmm.
because of the music that they're listening to. This doesn't have that kind of a vibe to me, and it
Okay.
doesn't have that kind of like what did I use? I can't remember what I used to call it, but like it was like this kind of production that makes you go, "Oh, right, this was produced by Russians." Like I know what you're talking. Like when you mentioned Tattoo, they have that sound. There's a lot of artists who have that sound that you go,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, a Russian produced this."
Mhm.
Um, but like I don't think this has that kind of like sound to it. If that makes sense.
Okay. No, I mean, like,
Yeah,
hey,
I don't get the whole Eastern European production here. I mean, I can see it playing in a club, but I wouldn't. My first thought wouldn't be, okay, this is a Polish producer.
Interesting how we have that kind of different perspectives about this song, because that just shows how multidimensional it is.
Yeah.
If I was able to pick that up, if you picked up a completely different thing, that just kind of shows you that it has that unique element to it. But would you say that that's the unique element that we point to?
Well, no, because for you, you're getting that. I'm not getting that personally. For me, there really isn't not a unique element. It kind of sounds like it could come from anywhere.
Mm.
Like usually my unique element is like, okay, this grounds me in whatever country, but I'm not getting that vibe on this one personally.
Interesting.
Now,
All right.
how well can it be performed live?
Pretty well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw the first rendition of the song before it was revamped for the show, and I mean, she won her national final for a reason. She sounds good.
Okay, exactly. And would you stream this?
Yeah, yeah, easy.
I mean, personally, I'm not streaming it
Mm.
really. I like it just fine, but it's just not one that I'm finding myself streaming.
Mhm.
Now, would your 10-year-old self be into this?
My 10-year-old self would probably find this song to be the most listenable one.
Yeah, I think my 10-year-old self would really be into this too, more
Mhm.
than myself now. So yeah.
Yeah,
And we
so that was
just
Poland, you guys.
one comment here from Georgios.
Poland is my number 3. I adore it. Remember to support your girl. Support your girl. Voting is going to be open, so don't forget
Yep, 13
to
minutes to
submit your
go.
points.
And then Giorgio says, for me as a Western European, I feel like it's a Western style song. Yeah, same.
Hmm.
Like it
Okay.
doesn't have that like Eastern European kind of sound to it.
Huh. Okay. So, Georgios and Lily, you feel that sentiment. I am not in your guys' boat, but that's okay, because this is about perspectives overall. And to close out, we have the host country. We have the host country for Junior Eurovision. It's not Kami Kami. It is not Milena. It is Nare singing Dance. So with that said,
I like your aggressive dance. Sorry.
I mean, look at the title and tell me that you're not supposed to say it that way.
I've been saying it like dance, like from the song by the
You've
song
been-
Boogie Wonderland. I've been saying it dance like that.
It's better than mine because she doesn't sound like a man with like voice issues. Like
No, you were going like early 90s jock jam dance.
dance. Jock jams. I was introduced to that for the first time like 3 years ago, and I was just like, "You're kidding me! This isn't a CD.
Oh man,
This is not a CD."
you weren't there for the jock jam CD, the infomercial. Oh yeah, that used to come on, and what was on there? We had Whoop, There It Is.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that has just the most eclectic selection of songs that kind of like bled into housey, bled into hip hop, bled into pop, like all kinds of different directions with that CD. I wonder if Europe has an equivalent or what that would be, who would be on
oh
that.
man, I mean half those acts were from Europe.
I mean, like I'll probably look at that list again and be like, "You're right."
Yeah, sorry,
Sorry, you guys.
there about the title. Lyrically,
Dance so hard, the stars join you.
yeah, let's go. Very jock jams. I mean,
Nara wasn't even born when Jock Jams was a thing.
no, she wasn't even.
Several
How
years down the line.
How old is she?
13.
Okay, so I'm probably just a little bit younger than her parents are. Think about that. Her parents are there for jock jams.
At some point outside the Eurovision season, we just need to have a listening party to Jock Jams and just analyze that.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's dancey. It's fun. It's something that like it feels age appropriate.
It's not about the lyrics.
It's not at all about what's happening lyrically. It's about what's happening in that production and genre, which is happy dance music for children.
It's K-poppy. The production, the
It's
genre. This feels like K-pop. I was listening to this. I was like, Listen, I stopped listening to K-pop in like 2016 when 2NE1 broke up because that just like that was the end of my heart. But it sounds like K-pop nowadays because I mean K-pop nowadays 2016 like shifted the entire sound of it. It sounds like a Luna track from
Okay.
getting familiar with what I hear from them. Again, I can't nail down who this sounds like in K-pop, but it does have like a 2020s K-pop sound. What do you think?
And I mean, K-pop's little. Children love it, right? I don't have kids. I mean, I think so.
You're right.
I
You're
saw a
right.
video of a video of a 3-year-old child in like Oklahoma getting down to some BTS, and I was like, okay, yeah, I wish we would have had that when I was like 4, but we
Because
didn't.
I mean, easy hooks,
Yeah,
very catchy visuals, and the fact that like danceability
yeah,
that is something that you can look at no matter the age.
yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. No, I agree. It is very K-pop, but like that's cool. Kids are into K-pop. We want to
Mhm.
keep things current and fresh.
Always.
Yeah,
And Armenia has done that. They
yeah.
have done exactly that. They
And
know
it's
what the
a
kids like.
and that's a unique element to it as well. It's like it's the only one I think that's giving us this version of upbeat dancing. We've got a lot of upbeat songs that you can dance
Mhm.
to, but this is the only one that's giving us that kind of like more polished, kind of like mix of stuff version of that.
Mhm. For me, like my unique element is not a ton different than yours. I think that this song out of the lineup is the like most fresh out of the oven pop. Why are you making faces at me?
Not sorry.
No, that's okay. But basically, I think this pop is the most modern that we have out of the entire lineup. This is one that could have only been produced in this year or this last year,
Hmm.
just because of the sound. Um, this is the kind of thing that kids listen to nowadays,
Yeah,
and the only way to really know that to produce a song like that is by being current. Armenia
yeah,
has done that last year. They're doing that this year. That's what's unique about it. It's the freshest sound.
yeah. Agreed. It sounds like it came out this year,
Mhm.
and it couldn't have come out any other year, basically.
Exactly.
So how well can we perform live?
Not sure. No
Don't
clue.
know.
We'll see.
Um, would we stream the song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And would you listen to this as a kid?
Probably.
Agreed, 100% with that. So just kind of like picking some comments up from Georgios Papadopoulos. Armenia has an amazing running order spot at fit number 15, and it might do a double.
It
Um,
could happen.
it could happen,
It
but
could.
that was my first thought when I saw the running order too. I was like, "Ooh, Armenia got lucky with that
They got
draw."
yeah. Yeah, they really did. The running order. We oh my gosh, we didn't even get the chance to talk about
We
that, but
can
it's
talk
fine.
about the running order now. I
We
mean,
we
like we're
can.
kind of
Honestly, like we only have like one more topic, but that's like super short.
it's our polls that we ran, but yeah, we can talk about running order. Do you have the let me pull up the running order.
All right. You pull up the running order and I can just like flesh out the polls that we did on the site really quick.
Okay.
So, you guys, we ran 4 polls on Junior Eurovision to see kind of the thoughts that we have for just kind of how we allotted for random countries into, not for random countries, but the countries that we reviewed in these last couple weeks into pots. And 25 people voted in the first poll between Kazakhstan, Spain, France, and Portugal. Spain had won that poll with 40% of the vote. The second poll was between North Macedonia, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and Malta. And the United Kingdom won that poll with 54% of the vote. Congratulations, Freya. The third poll was between Albania, Serbia, Ireland, and Ukraine. Sophie Lennon from Ireland swept that vote with 75% of voters selecting her. The fourth poll was between Italy, Poland, Georgia, and Armenia. And this was one of the closest races that we had.
Hmm.
Armenia and Italy were the top two, were the top 2 and 3 between them, but Georgia ultimately ran away with that with 38% of the vote. So yeah, that was really close. Uh, Thank you for your opinions, you guys. We're going to be running more polls as we have like more Eurovision shows, but it's really good to see what your perspectives are and that we're not just talking over you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for voting in those polls, you guys. I'm really glad to see that we have such strong thoughts. But with that said, we do have the running order as well, and we can close out with
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say like don't forget to follow us on Twitter because that's where you're gonna see those polls at.
Yes,
Is when
Twitter
we
is where the polls are, you guys, and I'm going to remind you of that in the next stream as well. Every stream where we're going to be presetting the polls.
yeah.
But yes,
Exactly. So then sorry. So yeah, I got the running order. First up is the Netherlands. And then it's gonna be Poland. So we're gonna kind of start with a party. Kazakhstan is in third. Malta, then Italy, then France. We're gonna go back up, we're gonna bring the energy back with Albania, followed by Georgia, then Ireland. So we're kind of gonna be in that kind of like a slower kind of pace right there. With Ireland, I did see online, did we know if Sophie got the rest of her stuff yet?
I actually didn't find that out.
Part of her costumes were missing and things like that.
Hopefully by now.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Ireland is the longest flight from Armenia.
They do actually the longest flight. I was like, oh, poor thing. But yeah. Then we have North Macedonia. It's going to bring us back up on energy. Followed by Spain, then the United Kingdom, and
energy's up here, you guys. For those 3 songs, energy is going to be up there.
And this is something Georgios had mentioned, which so the UK had to use playback for its rehearsal.
I wonder why.
It's because Freya is having some vocal issues.
Oh no, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. Some vocal rest. It's a marathon, it's probably the first time she's had to sing a lot.
And first song too, that's hard. That's a really hard song to sing. So as much rest as you can, Freya, as much.
Yeah, so you know what? Let's get some rest in there. So, there's plenty of it happens. And we've got we've still got a few days before the show.
Yeah, we do.
And they have and the clip that you're voting on is not from today. So sorry. Okay. After the United Kingdom, we go into Portugal. Then Serbia. Armenia is in 15th with that amazing running order. That amazing spot they got. And then we're gonna finish it off with Ukraine. So we're gonna end on that. Ukraine.
I think that just kind of talking about Ukraine really quick, this is the best position she could be in to do the best she can.
Yeah.
I think there's no better place for Ukraine.
Yeah, I think Ukraine and Armenia both have amazing running order, like amazing spots. I don't know where the commercial is going to go. If there's a commercial between Spain and the United Kingdom, or if they're going to put the commercial between the United Kingdom and Portugal.
I think I see commercial like United Kingdom and Portugal. I think that's where the divide is going to be.
That's what I'm thinking that it's going to be as well. And if there is that bit of commercial there, that's going to make the UK shine. That's going to be a really good spot for the United Kingdom.
Yeah. I do think it's really cool how we're closing the first half with Ireland and opening the next one with Georgia. Or is it the reverse?
No, we're closed. The first half ends with France and opens with Albania.
What the heck? Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was looking at the list all wrong, you guys. But
that's going to help them out both, I think.
I'm not disappointed really with anyone's place.
No.
Because I love the fact that Luna opens. I love the fact that it's immediately followed by Laura. And then that's when we get the first ballad following that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good spacing here. I think the way this running order was put together is excellent. I'm not seeing any points in the show where you're going to be bored for too long.
I can't say this last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that we've got a good running order here.
Definitely.
They did a really good job when they put that together. So
definitely a better running order than REI did in Turin.
Oh my gosh. Well, they had a struggle though, because they had a lot of ballads.
It was a struggle from day one. It was a struggle in the city. It was a struggle on the broadcast. It was a struggle the whole time. But
there was a lot of stuff to work out. But yeah, those are kind of like the running order. And voting has opened now because it's 2:00 our time. So voting has opened.
Oh my god.
Go to the JESC website to go ahead and vote for your junior entry. And
I'm going to be voting literally the second that we get off of the stream, you guys. I want to be supporting my favorite acts, just like you should be convincing other people to be. You can vote for 5 countries, and I forget the rest of the rules after that.
You can vote for 5 countries. And you can vote from anywhere.
Anywhere in the world, which we're going to be drafting. We're going to be trying out for the first time in adult Eurovision. We know how it works in junior, though.
Julia, you missed the whole stream.
Julia, we are just about to close out, but that's okay because I mean the link is still going to be active, and we're also going to be posting it on the site itself. Like, sorry that you missed it this time, but we're going to be back next week and for the whole season, and we're going to be we're just going to be rambling about all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
We had a good time. I don't know about you.
had an
We
amazing
had a good time. So yeah, Junior is this week. We'll talk about kind of what happened at Junior next stream. But next stream we're going to be focusing on Vidbir because Vidbir is happening on that Saturday. I know. And whatever else happens this week, yeah. So we'll see you guys again next week, same time. Actually, I don't know what time we're going to be streaming next week. We'll probably be here same time next week.
We'll tell you though. If
we'll let you guys know.
We'll let you know.
Just it is only 3 you can vote on them this year. They changed it.
Okay.
Instead of 5, it's 3
countries to vote on this year, not 5 like I said.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all so much. We will see you again next week. Don't forget to check out EurovisionFam.com, Twitter Eurovision Fam. Here we're Eurovision Fam, and I finally have access to the community page on YouTube, so I'll link like any kind of polls or anything. Just keep an eye on the community page there too.
Also check out Lily's reactions on her independent channel too. Check those out.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you all so much for joining us, and bye.
Bye guys.